Talking about roles, talking about AI, talking about work and stuff, what are your thoughts on the role of women, pay gaps and that kind of thing?
Women footballers get paid less because they deserve to get paid less. I am a world leader. I'm a world leading expert in the art of not giving a fuck. Anyone watching this, if you get good at the art of not giving a fuck, it will liberate you mentally. It is the best place to be. The jacket I wore here today is from Sainsbury's. My trousers are from Primark. My jumper's from Next. It's that level of sort of, I'm operating at that level. I couldn't care less.
This manifestation thing, this thing about visualize something, and you visualize it strong enough and the light will come to you and the world will work in your favor. What do you make of all this?
I don't believe any of it. I think it's visualization, manifestation, all of these hallucination, whatever nation it is. I don't believe it.
Any of these arts and sciences of psychology, psychotherapy, NLP, neurolinguistic programming, these are also BS,
right?
If they're not God-centric.
So the journey of entrepreneurship is not what is sold on social media, where it's all ups and ups and ups and cars and Lamborghinis and the trips to Dubai. It's far from that. I worked so hard for 6 straight years, no day off, no holidays, didn't have dinner with my wife for 6 years, hardly saw my son for the first 6 years of his life.
Let me ask you this then. When you did those 6 years, from morning till night, sacrificed so much, in your mind, what were you working for then in comparison to what do you work for now? Why was having a successful business important? Why not have a reasonable income?
Yep.
Why not have a reasonable car? Why not have a reasonable house, a reasonable amount where you can still relax?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be the very best at the very top? Yeah.
That exact question that you're asking me, I was thinking, well, when is enough?
Yeah.
Why are you pushing it to that level? I don't know the answer. I can't answer.
How would you say you could use AI in the industry that you're in?
Very early to say at the moment, but I can guarantee you one thing, based on historical data, AI is going to be mega big in 10-15 years time. Let me tell you why.
Sticking to the business element, you mentioned the other day that electronic business cards are BS.
All right, yeah.
Why?
Electronic business cards are fantastic.
Thank you.
Electronic business cards are bullshit. Both statements are true. I was at a networking event in Edinburgh and I had the good old-fashioned business card, handed them out, and great, happy days. But there was no reception in the hall. And everyone's struggling to sort of connect with one another.
Yeah, that is a
And I thought, you know what? There you go. Good old-fashioned business card wins the days. So all of the guys that had electronic cards or, transfer through LinkedIn, all these fancy ways of transferring, their details, it wasn't working. So a good old-fashioned business card can work just as good.
You say you're a world, because we talk about being experts in certain things. We had this discussion the other day about being experts in different fields and referring to yourself as an expert and the thoughts surrounding that versus somebody else referring to you as an expert. You said you were an expert in not giving a F.
Oh, yeah, right. I am a world leader. I'm a world leading expert in the art of not giving a fuck. Because I follow my own path the way that I want. And the last thing, I couldn't care less what anyone else is thinking. Which is why if I want to speak out against Palestine, if I want to speak out on the Palestine issue, I'll speak out on the Palestine issue. I couldn't care less what someone thinks of me.
People find that so difficult to do.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
And it requires a certain type of a person to be able to do that. And a certain type of a person who's, number one, confident and comfortable in their own skin.
Yep.
Number two, who's not a sheep, a follower.
Yeah.
It takes true leadership skills to be able to do that. You can be a leader in lots of different things in business and in the public sphere, in lots of different things. But the moment you are shackled from saying something which you claim are a part of your values, but you feel restraint or refrained from elaborating on in the public space, then in my eyes, you've lagged behind some leadership there. You're not that leader as you think you are, as big a leader you think you are, or a stronger leader as you think you are. Because real leaders, they're not like sheep. They don't follow. They lead. They lead the pack. They lead the voice. They lead the vision.
Exactly. And they don't care what anyone else thinks.
They don't care what anyone thinks.
And I'll tell you now, anyone watching this, if you get good at the art of not giving a fuck, it will liberate you mentally. It is the best place to be. So, and I'll give you an example, right? And I'll give you an example. I'm a reasonably successful businessman. I can wear a fancy suit. I can wear ordinary clothes, but most of my clothes come from sort of your high street. I'm not interested in labels. I couldn't care less what the jacket I wore here today is from Sainsbury's. My trousers are from Primark. The suit that I had, the outfit that I had on earlier on, my jumper's from Next. It's that level of sort of, I'm operating at that level. I couldn't care less. Wearing a fancy t-shirt with a designer logo is not going to make me feel any better. So get good at the art of not giving.
You know what?
I just saved you a bit of editing time there.
I think you have, But I think we have something in common there, because I'm the same. I like to dress different. I like to dress what I like to wear, what I think I look good in, what makes me feel comfortable and confident and all that kind of stuff. Most of my wardrobe is non designer. If I've got any designer stuff, it's because my kids have bought it for me.
Right, nice.
Right. Apart from maybe the odd watch here and there, which I have a liking towards, but other than that, nothing. And that's just me, and it doesn't make any difference to me. And nobody's going to take my jacket off, check the label. They used to do that in the back in the olden days when I used to be in the sales game. Right. You know, when you worked in sales,
right?
Salespeople are so fill in the gap. Competitive and quite obnoxious as well. Right, you have to be to a degree to be that kind of a sales, indirect sales especially, right? Not in consultative sales, because that's very much different. They used to come around, the sales team used to check what you're wearing and to check, Hugo Boss and all that kind of stuff. That was different. But I tell you what else I find fascinating is this manifestation thing. This thing about visualize something, and you visualize it strong enough and the light will come to you and the world will work in your favor. What do you make of all this?
I don't believe any of it. I think it's visualization, manifestation, all of these hallucination, whatever it is. I don't believe it. I just believe in one thing: hard work. Just roll up your sleeves and graft, and that's what brings the results. It's very simple.
It is when you think about it, isn't it? You see, I can say, because I'm an NLP practitioner myself, I'm qualified as an NLP practitioner. I was thinking about this the other day, and I came to a realization that any of these arts and sciences of psychology, psychotherapy, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, these are also BS.
Right.
If they're not God-centric.
Okay.
So a lot of these sciences try to delve into you realizing who you are, what you stand for, and what's your innate disposition as a human being, and to improve on that. But if there isn't a system of grounding, a value system that's pinning everything down in the foundations, then no matter where you go, you can be taken. No matter where you want to go, which way you're inclined to go, you could be taken.
Yeah.
And for us, as me, I always talk about this because it is important to me as a Muslim, as somebody who believes in God, as somebody who follows a path, that if you don't have that grounding, then if your value system isn't at the forefront of anything you do, then you can go in any direction and fall off completely. What are your thoughts on the sciences of the psychological elements and
I'm not qualified to make a detailed analytical judgment on that. I think I can only reflect on it from my own point of view, which is manifestation, visualization. It's just something I don't do. It's never been attractive to me.
Is that because you've not really explored it, or is it something that just doesn't kind of connect with you?
It doesn't connect with me. So I can't manifest my life being better in 3 years' time. I don't know what that looks like, but I can over here roll up my sleeves and bloody work to make my life better in 3 years' time.
So how do you, because sometimes what they will claim is, and sometimes I guess it works depending on what position you're in, how far you believe. You know, there's a Punjabi saying, "Peer tu vadda yakeen honda hai." So what's higher than the strength of a saint is your own self-belief.
Yeah.
So
now, self-belief is something different.
Sorry, let me correct myself. Yaqeen is just belief.
Yeah.
Not just self-belief, but belief. So if you have a saint saying something, it's not going to work for you if a saint tells you that you've got to do certain things in a certain way, unless you believe that it's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. I believe I'm going to be faster than Usain Bolt. I could sit here and manifest it all day long, and I'm going to manifest it. But over here, I've got to get out there on the running track and make it happen.
True. Won't deny that.
So I think I like to put more emphasis on the action rather than the mindfulness of it.
So what would you say are the common things that people talk about in business that you've seen, these so-called mentors and coaches, which get on your tits?
Everyone's making so much money.
Okay.
Everyone's earning £10,000 a month, right? That's the starting point. Secondly, everyone's got a Lamborghini. Everyone's got a place in Dubai. Everyone's living the high life, and everyone's selling a course or selling a book on how to do it. And I think that really annoys me, because I know I can see right through that. See a legitimate, genuine business operator, I can spot them a mile away just by the way that they talk. Because see, people who have gone through the struggles, they'll talk about the struggles and the hardships. And the people who haven't gone through, they'll just talk about the rosy side of business. They'll talk about the successes in a very light, superficial way. I can detect the bullshit a mile away.
Let me ask you a question. What do you make of these high ticket sales type of programs, like for coaching and stuff?
It's a business. And I think, I would never go for it.
Why not?
I think
Let's just say you're not where you are now.
Yeah.
Let's just say it was long before you went into the world of management consulting.
Yeah.
Because before you went into business, you were in management consulting, right? For blue chip companies and stuff. Before you went into that, because something aspired you towards this kind of discipline.
Yeah.
Would you have considered high ticket sales coaching programs?
I think if I didn't have the experience that I've got, yes, then possibly I would have done. Because it's if you've not got something, it's easy to be persuaded. You look at something, but fortunately I've got some academic experience, I've got practical experience, I've got blue chip experience, I've got business experience of running my own business. So I think I'm a fairly good judge of detecting if that's going to work or not.
What do you make of coaches in general, having a coach? Have you got a coach, or have you ever had a coach in life?
Like a business coach?
Business or personal coach?
I've got a personal trainer.
Okay, other than a personal trainer?
Coaching, no. No coach, no mentor. But what I do is I keep my ear to the ground, and I keep an eye out for any snippet of information that can benefit me. And if I get that snippet of information, it gets locked away in my brain, and I use it over and over again. So
would you say because you have that ability to do that, it's okay for someone like you not to have a coach or a mentor, but people who don't have that ability, they should get a coach?
There is no special ability there. If you hear a good tip or a good sentence or a good sort of insight, what I do is I just write it down, and I've done that for like the last 30 years. I've got a Word document with all of the great sayings and little hints and tips, and I refer back to that on a regular basis. That's no special ability. That's just documenting what you've heard.
Okay, so because you stay in your own lane, you do your own thing, and you have, mashallah, a good aptitude for these kinds of things and attitude for these kinds of things, and you have the mental ability to translate or interpret things in a certain way. But not everybody has that. So I think from a mentor, the element of having a mentor, okay, I get it. I understand that. From a coaching perspective, though, I think just like athletes have coaches, a professional coach's job isn't to give answers anyway. It's the art of asking the right question for somebody to derive to the results themselves. And sometimes you just need somebody to ask you that right question if you're not clear on something yourself. Would you say you agree with that approach?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent you do need some guidance, but be very careful who you take the guidance for. Only take advice with someone you're willing to trade places with.
100%. You know, that's probably one of the most important points, because there are a lot of rogue, well, maybe that's not even the right word. There are a lot of coaches out there who are offering people to transform their lives when they've not actually got anything to show for it themselves. How would you do your due diligence before advising somebody to get, if somebody wants to get a coach to help them with something, what would you say are the key elements to look at, or key things to look at before hiring a coach?
So in my business, I've had people come to me saying, oh, we can coach you in this and we can coach you in that. Yeah, we could help you grow to like 300 employees, 400 employees. We can put the systems in place. Yeah, great. How many people work for you? Oh, I just work for myself. What do you then know about a 400-man organization? What could you possibly coach me? Whereas someone else has actually got 400 or 500 people working for him. He could give me the insight, that he could give me hints and tips all day long about the pros and cons of teams and having employees, having that number of employees.
What about, because I'd say that's a very valid point, and I would say that applies more towards mentors as opposed to coaches. Because mentors are people who are supposed to have done it all, right? They're going to show you how to do it better. Coaching, I think, for those situations, I don't think, you'll struggle to find people who have had that kind of an experience,
right?
And to confidently pitch you, to coach you. But if they do, then obviously they've got a few things to check up on. But as an individual, as a professional, working with a coach, maybe, I'm not justifying either way, by the way. Okay. I'm just picking your brain to see where you stand with certain things. Let's just say there's somebody who, again, has worked for a blue chip company, or, really high level stuff. They've not had 400 people working for them per se, but they have an ability to ask you the questions for you to be able to get to the right answers for a matter that you might be struggling with, which might not have anything to do with people management per se, but other things in terms of getting clarity.
I think there is merit. There is some merit, but I don't use them and I don't rely on them. And in business, let me talk about this. In business, there is no right answer in business. See, if business was that easy, do you know what we would do? We would go to the library, read the books, and open up a business and make millions of pounds. That's what we would do. But business is very difficult. Let me give you two scenarios. Scenario number one, is it easier to sell one item at £10,000, or is it easier to sell 10 items at £1,000 each? What do you think?
I think both have their own challenges, and both have them, potentials in their own right. Yeah,
exactly. There is no right answer. I could ask 1,000 people. I'll say, give me either one answer, or answer A or answer B, and it probably will be split down the middle. But in reality, out there in the real world, there is no one right answer for business. That's why running a business is so difficult. Scenario number two. You've got two areas, Area A and Area B. Area A spends a lot of money in your business. You've got a lot of customers from that area. And in the second area, Area B, the customers don't use your business. You've got a pot of, say, £5,000 marketing spend. What audience do you target? The people that are already using you or the people who are not using you? What would you say to that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And there could be arguments for both again. Yeah, because you could say, okay, in area A, they're already using me. I need more of those types of people. I want to market into those communities. But area B, if they're not using you, then you can say, hang on, they're not using us. We need to market there.
And I have actually experienced this myself in my years of business. We've spent money targeting areas where the customers aren't using us. It's made no difference. Yet you ask that same question to someone else to say, oh yeah, that was not a market for us. Now we've tapped into that market and now we've got lots of customers from there. So the key thing is, anyone listening to this, there is no one right answer in business. That's what makes it so difficult. And I'm finding this fascinating. Why does one business succeed and another one fail when they're almost like doing 99% the same thing?
And what have been a part of your findings for that?
It's just the micro decision making. No, that it's a tiny, tiny little details that make
such as
it could be like such as, so for example, it could be the quality of the food, it could be the price, it could be 5 pence more expensive, 5 pence cheaper. That's enough to sort of tilt a customer. It could be the quality of your product, it could be the quality of your service, it could be a whole host of just little things that often make one business better than another business. Well, let me ask you, why do you prefer, just for talking's sake, why do you prefer Facebook over LinkedIn?
Yeah, just used to it.
Yeah.
For me, it was a case of it was more responsive to my messaging than LinkedIn was back when I started.
Exactly.
Although that's changed, that's flipped on its head.
Fine. And now if I ask the next person, the answer might be totally the opposite. So you could ask 1,000 people and the answers are all going to vary. So it's just very, very difficult. And that's why I'm saying running a business is incredibly difficult and often there is no one right answer.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with that. And this is probably why when we were recording the other podcast with Saf the other day, I was going around in different scenarios and I couldn't come to a clear answer because some of those questions was, okay, is it A or B? You know, whether this, is it going to be this or is it going to be that? You were like straight down the pipe, like bang, bang, bang. And I was like, hang on, it depends on this and it depends on that. And I couldn't give a straight, it's almost like he was asking trick questions every time.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, wow. Well, that was a very interesting. For those of you who, actually, if you're watching this, then Safraz Ali will have an episode which he had a discussion between myself and Ajmal. And it was a very intense but fascinating conversation that we had. So on that note then, we've all got to go one day.
Yep.
Death is inevitable.
Yep.
Majid Waris is going to die. Ajmal Mushtaq is going to die.
Yep.
We'll be long gone from here. No more Rolexes, no more Rolls Royces, no more fancy things and everything that you've worked for, the millions that you've made. It'll mean nothing on that day.
Exactly.
How would you like for people to remember you after you've gone?
That's an interesting one. I think just now what I'm doing, I'm just out there helping the business community. I think business is hard and I'm just putting my message out there free of charge. I'm not expecting anything in return. And it's costing me thousands of pounds a month, but I don't mind. No, I think if you're blessed with either knowledge or, if you're blessed with a certain knowledge, I think it's okay to just go ahead and share it and not expect anything in return. And I think that's where I'm winning.
Yeah, fantastic. I think you are too. I think that's one of the things that you do quite actively, even on social media, isn't it? You're not just sharing the positives of business and earning the millions and buying the fancy cars and stuff. You're telling the audience all the challenges that it comes with and all the hard work that goes behind it.
Exactly. 80% of my content is negative. It's like, don't bloody do it. It's too difficult. It's going to drain you physically, emotionally, financially. It's going to take you to the point of ruin in most cases. 90% of businesses fail within 10 years. So the journey of entrepreneurship is not what is sold on social media where it's all ups and ups and ups and cars and Lamborghinis and the trips to Dubai. It's far from that.
So why would you focus 80% of your content on the negative stuff?
Because it's real.
Okay.
Yes. See, when I turn up at work, I'm not dealing with sunshine, roses and and great meetings. And even when you're in the meetings, you're dealing with the issues, the complexities, the challenges, the things that need done urgently. 80% of my day is a headache. You're dealing with the challenges and issues. And it's only days like this when I'm out doing a podcast with yourself or having dinner with you last night, attending a black tie event. That's like 20% of it.
Yeah.
The other 80% I'm stressed out of my head.
Yeah. But not everybody still gets to use 20% of that time to chill out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Some people never get that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you make of people who do work from like 6 o'clock in the morning to like 10, 11 o'clock at night? Do you think that's the right thing to do? Is there a right or wrong in that?
I did that for 6 years. I worked so hard for 6 straight years, no day off, no holidays, didn't have dinner with my wife for 6 years, hardly saw my son for the first 6 years of his life. And I think in any endeavor, if you want to stand on the podium with a gold medal around your neck, you need to sacrifice. And then I get asked, well, you just lost 6 years of your life with your son. And I thought, well, since then, I've gained every minute of every day if I require, because I've got a daughter now as well. I'm at home all the time. I can be at home every day of the week if I wanted. I've done the sacrifice, and now I'm going to live the rest of my life in relative comfort.
Alhamdulillah. Let me ask you this then. When you did those 6 years, from morning till night, and sacrificed so much, in your mind, what were you working for then in comparison to what do you work for now?
Then I was working to establish my business. And any business, it just takes an insane amount of effort to get it up and running and then for it to be successful. So I was willing to do whatever it takes to make that business a success. I had no choice. I left a very successful career in London. My wife left her career in London to run this business. So we had no choice but to make it a success. Otherwise, it was a pure loss for us.
Why was having a successful business important?
Because otherwise, you don't have a roof over your head. You need money to pay the bills. You need money to go on holiday. You need money to put fuel in the car.
Of course, I agree. But here's I guess the question is, why did it have to be right up there? Why couldn't it be average? You could still have money in the bank, a reasonable amount. You could still have a roof over your head. You could still have clothes on your back. You still have food on your plate.
Yeah.
Why did it have to be to the heights that you had reached?
I knew no other way. The example I give is like you're sitting in the Flintstones car, where you're pedaling with your feet. You're going uphill. You've got to keep pedaling.
Why have you got to?
Because if you stop, everything just collapses.
That's for the Flintstones car.
Yeah.
But that might not necessarily have been the case for you.
No, it is the case because if any business is like that, it's an uphill battle. You're pedaling very, very hard. The minute you stop pedaling, the competition will just go right past you.
Agreed. I don't disagree with that. So I just wanted to challenge you on the thought processes of somebody who is as successful as you are.
Right.
And obviously we meet people like that, like Saj is saying, now as a mutual friend, Safraz Ali, and these are people who are in our circles and there are more obviously.
Yep.
But there are certain traits which are common amongst them. And these are the kinds of traits. So my question to you is, why not have a reasonable income?
Yep.
Why not have a reasonable car? Why not have a reasonable house, a reasonable amount where you can still relax?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be the very best at the very top?
Last night, we were listening to a billionaire who's talking about he's got a £2 billion portfolio and within 3 years it's going to be worth £4 or £5 billion. I wanted to ask exactly the same question. I was thinking, gosh, is 2 billion not enough for you, mate?
Yeah.
That exact question that you're asking me, I was thinking, well, when is enough?
Yeah.
Why are you pushing it to that level? I don't know the answer. I can't answer.
Okay. That's fair enough.
And that's the question. That's the exact question I wanted to ask this billionaire.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Because some people could see the likes of you, multimillionaire, as saying, when's enough?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think you're on this treadmill, you're on this journey, and I think it's quite hard just to stop, because that's who I am. That's all I've ever known. Since the age of 14, I've worked very, very hard.
Do you thrive in competition?
Yes.
Competing against who?
Any rivals.
Okay.
And the reason being, I think competition keeps you sharp.
Sure, I agree. What about yourself? Competing against yourself?
Always on a journey to improve myself, learning as much as I can. I think I've been called a business expert or a business guru. I consider myself a business geek / business student. I'm still on this journey of learning. I just want to just dedicate as much time to learning and reading books and understanding different strategies. I mean, that's all I do.
Well, this is something fascinating I've seen amongst people like, who are very successful in life and in business. They are humble and into saying that I'm on a journey, I'm still learning. You see some of these boxers like Otto Beterbiev, I don't know whether you follow boxing. This is a Muslim boxer and he's just won the titles for undisputed. And he always says, inshallah, one day I'll be a good boxer. I'll be a better boxer, and he's at the pinnacle. He is the best.
Yeah.
Got all the titles. And, he's very humble. Everybody who's a professional, everybody who has achieved a lot. The only people who, here's the other thing. There are some people who have achieved a lot, maybe not through legitimate means. As far as, I mean, this can be speculative or things that you may have observed or see or heard or whatever. But those people who haven't always been through the legitimate way of achieving high things, big things, they are less shy about calling themselves experts. Those people who have put hard graft, no shortcuts, did it the legitimate way, they would always say it's a learning curve, I'm on a journey, I'm still a student, like you've said. That fascinates me. It's amazing how the thinking is different between people who have done other things, the naughty things. And
right, okay, that's a really good point, right? So a lot of people don't know this, right, because they just see me from TikTok, but previously I ran the biggest takeaway kitchen in Britain, right? And I had won Scotland Chef of the Year for 4 years out of 8, right? So I was like, when it came to cooking food, I was like shit hot, right? I was really good, right? But you know what I would do when I would step into the kitchen? My very first step into the kitchen, I said, I'm just an amateur. I regarded myself as the worst chef in town.
You were actually cooking yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I was the
You
chef.
were the chef?
Yeah, I was the chef. I was the chef director. I had like a team of 50 guys working in the kitchen. So I was the chef director, but I knew every single station in the kitchen.
Right.
I took it upon myself to learn that. But when I stepped inside the kitchen, I would consider myself to be like the worst chef in town. Do you know what that did? It made me sharpen up my game. Right, fucking hell, right, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to work to the best of my ability. But out there publicly, I had all the titles. Yeah, Scotland Chef of the Year, and yeah, he's doing really well. But inside, that's what I felt, and that's what I'm saying to you now. I might be okay at business, but inside, I feel like a business amateur. There's still so much to learn.
Do you think I don't think it's the case with you, but do you think some people suffer from what we might call imposter syndrome?
Everyone suffers from imposter syndrome. Everyone. Like,
how do you mean?
I could sit here, talk confidently all about business all day long, bring in Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, and I'll suffer from imposter syndrome.
Yeah, true.
So everyone, no matter what level you're at, there's always someone smarter, more intelligent, richer than you. And when you operate in that area, then you actually do feel a bit of an imposter.
Yeah, I guess so. But also at the same time, it's very important to be in the company of people who have done more than you, are better than you, or more knowledgeable than you. Otherwise, you don't improve, really, do you?
Yeah.
You learn something from them, and
exactly.
You learn something different, something new, something out of the box, something you may not have considered, and reflecting on what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
And also, on your note, because you say you're always soaking this information up, and you're very competitive. This is stuff you can pick up to improve everything that you're doing.
And this is the best time in history to be learning, because you just need to open up your phone and you've got the world's information at your fingertips. So whatever craft you want to pursue, the information at your fingertips. There's no excuse.
I say this to my kids as well. I say, you don't know the meaning of getting information.
Yeah.
I remember the days we used to do homework, right? Or any assignments from school, we'd have to physically walk to the library in the snow.
Yeah.
Break our asses a few times on the way there because we'd fall. We didn't have the right shoes. We didn't have the money to have like really chunky grips, wellies. And we'd get to the library, realize that the book had already been taken that you needed.
Yeah.
You'd have to speak to the librarian, book it for when it comes back so you can have it. But even when you did take it, you'd have to make your notes or get photocopier. Because photocopiers were scarce. You'd have to go to the shop, pay him 10 pence or 20 pence or whatever it is to get a scan or a photocopy of the information. Then you'd have to give it back if you don't already renew it. If you were late, you'd have to pay a fine.
Yeah.
And then you use that, and that's one book.
Yeah.
And you'd be restricted to 6 books. There was no internet then, right?
Yeah.
So this is about information gathering even from back in the day. Today you have the like of the internet. Forget just the internet and how much information is on there. Now we have things like AI. I mean, I've implemented AI in a new product that I've developed for the business, writing policies and stuff as well for compliance. And I've realized how integrating things like that can help save a lot of time. So it might not be always legally accurate, for which reason you'd always need somebody who knows their stuff to kind of go through it with them. But AI is doing people's homeworks for them, writing their assignments for them. And then you'll need another AI model to check whether this was written with an AI model, So what do you make of this new kind of phenomena with AI and stuff?
I think we need to embrace it. I think it's phenomenal. I think a lot of it is misunderstood. AI it might not take all of your job away, but it will make 20, 30% of your job. It will automate it and streamline it.
How would you say you could use AI in the industry that you're in?
Very early to say at the moment, but I can guarantee you one thing, based on historical data, AI is going to be mega big in 10, 15 years' time. Let me tell you why. In the year 2000, it was a .com boom.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to start shopping online and the town centres are going to be dead. That didn't happen for another 10 years. And it's only now in the last 10 years that we've started doing online shopping. So although it was all spoken about back then, but you couldn't really see it happening. And it took almost 10 years for it to happen. Now there's a buzz. AI is going to take at least another 10 years for it to sort of really be embedded into every part of what we do on a daily basis.
What would you say the negatives can be of AI?
Yeah, I don't know enough about it. The negatives.
From what's obvious, things like people are concerned about AI taking over jobs and stuff.
It's never going to take over jobs. AI. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It will take over jobs, but that will allow a new type of job to be born.
Okay.
For example, a PC and a printer made thousands of clerical assistants redundant when they used to type out the letters from the big companies. Those people then moved into a different industry. Then there's the rise of the IT industry. It might be the rise of the AI industry, whatever that looks like. Coal miners lost their jobs. That got transferred into nuclear or clean energy. So if one sort of sector dies, it always gives rise to the birth of another sector.
Interesting. How do you think AI could be evolving in the future? What do you think it'll look like in your imagination? Because I know we have limited information and it's not our expertise. But from the limited information that we have right now, obviously there's lots of talk about different ways AI can be implemented and machine learning and stuff like that. You know, when we see these movies like iRobot and robots working and interacting with human beings and doing their chores for them, do you see that as a likely thing?
I'd love that.
Yeah. You know?
All right. Imagine just walking out the door. You come back. The clothes are washed. They're ironed. They're sat on the bed every day. You don't have to hoover. You don't have to worry about your clothes. You don't have to worry about your wardrobe. You walk into the dressing room. The outfit of the day is already laid out, ironed, ready for it. That would be amazing.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be amazing. But what's fascinating is how well AI is getting to know us.
Yeah.
Like even on our phones.
Yeah.
Like, you know, machine learning, the phone learns your habits, and nowadays your screen can have the apps on the front screen, the ones that it realizes that you use these more often than not. And this is all really
Fascinating. I think watch this space. We've just started.
Yeah.
You know, the AI revolution is it's arriving at trackside. It's not even taken off its tracksuit and got into the starting blocks. We're just starting. It's going to be fascinating.
So talking about roles, talking about AI, talking about work and stuff, what are your thoughts on the role of women, pay gaps and that kind of thing?
In any particular sector?
No.
Take sports, for example.
Okay.
Name me a sport.
Football.
Women footballers get paid less because they deserve to get paid less. I can guarantee you nowhere in the world is there a room full of men rubbing their hands thinking, how can we pay these women the bare minimum? Men don't determine the pay. Women don't determine the pay. The market determines the pay. And the sponsors are not going to pay the same rates for women footballers if the attention is a fraction of that of the men's game. That would be commercial lunacy. Football is business, and these are commercial decisions.
Fascinating. Outside of sport then, let's just take jobs, clerical jobs or general jobs within an office. And what about that?
Yeah, I mean, naturally it should be, because a woman is no less typing or whatever job it is. I mean, it's fairly prescriptive what the job is. A man can do it or a woman can do it.
But in sports, because the demand determines the value.
The attention demands the value, yes.
Yeah. So for that, they don't have any room to negotiate then.
Yeah, no, they haven't. It's the commercial decisions. And if you look at the women footballers' stadium, look at the terraces. I mean, you see empty seats. You never see that in the Premiership matches. Yet the women want the same pay as the Premiership players. Yet their audience is a fraction of that of the mainstream audience. Remember, women's football has got a 100-year disadvantage from the men's game. I mean, the men have had a 100-year head start. So you can't be complaining too much that, the pay should be the same. It will be when the women's game is up to the same standard, then the pay will be the same.
Do you think it'll ever get to the same standard?
It could do.
Commercially,
it can do.
Yeah.
If there is a major drive, I mean, if people start watching football, I think it's increasing now. We see it on the mainstream TVs. Like, we never saw women's football on mainstream TV. But 5 years ago, never. Now it's becoming more and more. Now girls are going to want to grow up and they can be women footballers, and that's only going to be good for the industry. My favourite woman of all time, the one that's head and shoulders above every other woman in the world, is, do I respect that girl woman? I respect her more than anyone else. Jennifer Aniston, Angelina Jolie, couldn't give a fuck what they're doing, right?
There's research gone into how the war has affected people in Palestine. There are children there who have insomnia. They can't sleep. They hear the whizzing of the drones all the time. Yeah. At any point, a place could be bombed and they'll see dead bodies in front of them. These kids can't even sleep properly in peace because they get those shakes, and they die from heart attacks. Kids dying with heart attacks because of the sounds that they hear, and it scares them. So more than half of Palestinians, or half of people in Gaza, were not even eligible to vote then. 70% of the people who are killed right now in Gaza are women and children. More than half the population is children under 18. They didn't even vote for Hamas. But guess what? It's Israel who didn't allow them to have other elections after that, for which reason they're still in, the governing body. Back in the day, Nelson Mandela was dubbed the terrorist.
Yeah.
Then he became known as the freedom fighter. Then he won loads of awards for fighting
the Nobel Peace Prize.
The Nobel Peace Prize.
The same person, the same cause. Nelson Mandela is a terrorist. Nelson Mandela is a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Yet everything he believed remained exactly the same.
Yeah. How do you think, and how accurate do you think this labeling of terrorists is by the Western world?
For me, it's very simple, right? On the one hand, I'm hearing that Hamas killed 1,200 people, right? We're in Israel. Every army officer, every checkpoint has got hundreds of cameras. Yet I've not seen a single video from that attack, apart from in the distance when they were coming in the paraglider, right? But on the ground, every single person has got a bloody video camera, yet I've not seen a single Hamas operative or member kill anyone or anything. And then over here, I'm just seeing on a daily basis the genocide, day in, day out, day in, day out. And I think people have finally woken up. They can see for themselves. It's not what the BBC, they've lost control. The Zionist media, Sky News, CNN, Fox News, they've all lost control. People are making the decisions for themselves. I think Bell Pottinger, which is a PR company, they were paid £540 million to generate negative propaganda against the Muslims.